on 2nd down and 5. Rodgers rolling and looking and throwing and completing, and a 1st down, and fighting for some extra yardage. Jeremy Ruckert.
So he cans it. New England adjusts their coverage.
And the changeup leads to a run through the middle and a nice little hole. And close to a 1st down goes Breece Hall. Was 6 for 6. That's his first incompletion. Empties it again here. Hangs in the pocket. Fires. Caught. That's another 1st down. 319. Short drop. Quick throw. Good move. And despite hanging onto the shirt into the end zone goes Allen Lazard. 8 plays, 73 yards, 3 rushes, 5 passes.
And Lazard's experience, understanding that there's any chance at any moment Rodgers will abort a run play. That's an outside zone to the right. He comes out of it. Quick release, as always, from Aaron Rodgers. And he gives number 10 a chance.
Trips to the left side. Stevenson was the man in motion. Brissett will fire over the middle and into traffic, and it's taken in there by Hunter Henry. Will they come? Run a stunt up front and get to him. Sacked back at the 40-yard line. Rodgers pressured, gets away, throws, caught. Another 1st down. Breaking away is Lazard, who scored the touchdown. Still going out to the 41-yard line. Rodgers 9 of 10 for 90 yards. Play action. Goes underneath. Hall to the 45 of New England. Nothing like yak yards after the catch for a quarterback. And a big hole here. And another 1st down. 2 of them for years in Green Bay. Rodgers fires, and that's caught. 2nd and 17. Fired, caught, on the move, and it's a 1st and goal. Ruckert is the fullback. On the ground. Can he get in? He rolls, and they're going to say he's short. Take another peek here.
Jennings makes a heck of an effort. That knee is up. I think that's a touchdown. I think he broke the plane. I think that's 6.
Crowd, of course, is seeing what you are seeing right now. Terry McCauley, what do you see?
Just exactly the way you see it. He's up. That knee is not down when the ball breaks the plane. This is a reviewable play, obviously. Coach's challenge. We'll see if they replay assist it.
Sometimes the replay assistant sees it after the face mask on a 2nd down and 9. And Brissett will fire, and that will be not caught. And another flag comes in.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 44. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the previous spot. Automatic, 1st down.
Little flip here to Demario Douglas. Breaks a tackle, takes it to the midfield stripe and close to a 1st down. Team at San Francisco before getting the job here. 3rd and 18. Quick throw to the outside. And spinning his way to the 24-yard line. 44-yard attempt. Joe Cardona, the longtime snapper. And the operation is very clean. And they get 3. You got 2 guys who look like they may come on the alerts. Neither comes this time. And Rodgers goes deep and finds the open man at the 47-yard line. 47-yard line. And a 1st down here after the 2-minute warning. Called. Bounces off a would-be tackler, and then Jones is going to force him out of bounds. 3rd down and 5. Pressure. Caught over the middle. Rodgers to the outside, and that's incomplete. So it's 4th down. The road to the Super Bowl. Otherwise, New Orleans that day probably had a 1st down or 2 where they go to the Super Bowl. Zuerlein. And this time he misses. Brissett's going to throw, and they're going to try to call a timeout here and do something. There's the defensive alert. In the pocket, he stands.
Brissett standing in there, being a man, knowing there's pressure.
3rd down and 4. Here comes the blitz. Pass is incomplete. Too much pressure. And down he goes.
Hip drive, and that's the velocity on the football.
Allen and Hall were both in the backfield. Look out from behind. Avoids the sack. Going to take off. Going to seek the sideline and find it. 2nd down. Handoff.
He's not surprised he's playing well.
Allen grew up watching him. Rodgers flushed out. Keeps his eyes downfield. Fires. Finds the man. This time it's the tight end, Conklin.
Every single week with Rodgers' ability to find a matchup.
2nd and 4 to the outside. Good move. Tackled at the 2. Garrett Wilson. Rodgers the fake. The throw. Caught. Staying inbounds. Yes. Touchdown. Garrett Wilson.
Team back in this game, jumps it, and if he does get there, he maybe has a chance, but that ball is, again, not to be a broken record, perfectly thrown to the outside away from the defender, and there's that body control. First getting thrown into the fire. We've seen a lot of young quarterbacks last couple years, including this year.
Brissett meanwhile throws, and getting open that time is Douglas. Play action again. Pressure again. Sets up the screen. Caught. Hooper, the tight end, rumbles all the way inside the 30 to the 29-yard line.
On the left side.
Exclusively the right side in State College. 4-man rush here. Brissett flushed out again. Down he goes. Got rid of it at the end. Flag goes down. And an overtime loss at home to Seattle. Rodgers on 3rd and 2. Looking downfield, fires, caught, open, 41-yard line, tackled there, Tyler Conklin. A couple of pretty good Aarons playing right now in New York. That's caught. And you've got a 33 from their own 46-yard line. And Rodgers settles for a little swing pass. Meanwhile, Stevenson, who's been great, has only carried the ball 5 times, now make it 6 for 19 yards before that carry. And more action here now again. Now you got a little skirmish.
Yeah, it looks like the ball came out.
Maybe, yep.
Yeah.
By the defense, 1st down.
3rd and 7. Rodgers flicks it. Adjusting, making the grab, Mike Williams. Turned around, got position, hauls it in. Beat Jonathan Jones on the play, 1st down.
It's been a great group effort, including Nathaniel Hackett putting that plan together.
Correction, they have Denver next. Meanwhile, the Patriots have to go to San Francisco. Rodgers to the end zone, adjusting. No, can't hold it in. Mike Williams, who's made so many of those catches. 28-yard field goal attempt to try to make it 24-3. Which he does with ease. Tonight under a lot of pressure, 12 of 18 for 98 yards. Now on the ground, it's Antonio Gibson.
Man, you'd like to see that worked out.
That Reddick from Philadelphia, but holding out, wanted a trade, and the Jets say no, we're not getting rid of it.
And with that injury to Jermaine Johnson, how great is that? And with Reddick still sitting out.
3rd and 13. And working his way is Douglas.
Second year, getting bigger and becoming more of a complete defensive end.
May rolling against the grain. He's going to run. He's going to get the 1st down with 53 seconds remaining in regulation.
Of what you'd hope to see from him playing at quarterback position.
And that's caught at the 10-yard line and setting up a 1st and goal. May under pressure and gets sacked at the 12-yard line. Who's in there at the end? Tack McKinley. The Jets, who have melted under the lights, coming in, they've lost 13 of 14 primetime games, 2 and 15 in the last 17 games. at home in prime time